Hey guys, Dave here. Welcome to Centurion's Review, the punk rock band of Wargame Review Institutions. I haven't covered any micro games in a while, so here's one. This is StarGate from SPI. It's a space capsule number 2. It says it's the final space battle for galactic freedom. I've had this forever. I haven't had a chance to do anything with it yet. It says it's designed by Butterfield. He's a good designer. And it says the graphics are from Redmond Simonson. I think he's the guy who wrote the rules for Damocles Mission, which is a game that I like. So let's see what this is all about. Let's get it out of this old plastic first. This is an old game. Streaming through the mysterious stargates, the power-hungry Varunian forces have racked the Milky Way for nearly 80 years in the War of Purification. Remnants of the civilizations devastated by the Varunian tri-ships, banded together in a determined coalition, await the moment to launch their counterstroke. In 2519 AD, the moment has arrived. The Varunian encounter their nemesis and, retreating headlong to the source of their power, find themselves dispersed and without their potent unified command. Coalition telepaths, sensing the Varunian confusion, direct their forces to the Null Gate, arriving just as the helpless Varunian vessels tumble forth from the Stargates. The battle to ensue will decide the Varunian fate in the galaxy. Stargate recreates this climactic battle using a stylized, semi-abstract system of movement that allows the combatants to conceal themselves from one another in the various planes and dimensions created by the Null Gate. Players use cardboard playing pieces representing blah blah blah. You get the idea. Let's see what's the components look like, and take a look at the rule book. The cover here opens up into the map. It's got all these numbers on it. We'll have to look at the rule book to see what these numbers are for in here. This is actually the first time I've opened the damn thing, and I've had it forever, so we'll learn as we go along. Let's take a look at the counters. We'll get to the rule book in a minute. Counters are what I would expect from this period. Actually, there's not that many of them. A lot of blank counters on here. Yeah, look, just little spaceships and stuff. Looks like they're one-sided, half-inch counters. I guess this is in case if you don't have dice, you use the 1 through 6, most likely, I'm guessing. Just draw them out of a cup. Looks like whoever opened this, but I think this is whoever owned this before me, never played it, but they highlighted some stuff. I don't know if you could see it on the camera. It's really faded out. But it starts with an an introduction, and then it's going over the game equipment. It looks like on the counters you have attack strength, defense strength, and a movement allowance. It looks like some stuff has teleport abilities. And down here it says you have a warp option. Interesting. Let's go to the sequence of play. Starts with a coalition staging segment. The coalition player places up to 4 units in the coalition staging area, and then it's a Varunian player turn. There's a deployment phase, a movement phase, combat phase, and then the coalition player turn happens where there's a movement phase and a combat phase. So the sequence of play is pretty elementary. Alright, now it's going into movement. It's going over linear movement and then gate skimming, whatever that is. I think that's entering stargates and stuff, and going over teleportation. And there's an Iguigi human teleportation. It says here there's a wobbling, and the Meta Mexish and Varunian control units are moved by wobbling. Wobbling represents multi-dimensional travel through known and unknown space. Interesting. I gotta read these rules. This sounds kind of, I don't know, what would be the word for it? Unusual, but in a good way. Mindless transport units, Varunian movement restrictions. And there's an approach routine. Interesting. And then it's got some stacking rules here. And here's the combat rules. And now it's talking about StarGate and Null Gate energy fields. And here's the victory conditions. You have to fulfill these conditions below. The first is Varunian victory. If at any point the coalition player has lost 8 units, and in these 8 there is at least 1 unit from each of his 4 races, the Varunian player is immediately declared the winner. As far as a coalition victory, if at any point the Varunian player has lost at least 1 unit from each of his 6 tri-ship groups, the coalition player is immediately declared the winner. If both this and condition 12 are fulfilled at the same time, the coalition player is determined the winner. So I think condition 12.1 are fulfilled at the same time. So in a draw, the coalition wins. I mean, the one they're talking about, if they lose 8 and the other wants 6, they all have to be parts of different groups. Well, there's not that many ships on here, so you have to lose a sizable portion of your force. So this would be like each one you would have to lose like half the force. Interesting. And let's see here, it's got some charts here. It's got an approach options matrix, a Varunian combined unit capabilities chart, shielded approach chart, and the combat results table. Oh, and you can cut it in half to give 1/2 to the other player. That's a good idea. And in here it looks like there's a little advertisement from SPI, January to July 1979. This stayed in pretty good shape considering how old it is. I'll have to browse through that later. Sometimes these things are fun to look through and see all the old games when they advertise them. Anyhow, thanks for watching. If you've tried this game, definitely chime in and let us know how you liked it. If you liked the video, please click like on it, and if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to this channel, and as always, have a good evening.